Right guys, welcome to the 12th episode of Below the Bar.
In this episode, expect to find out what we think of Man City's treble success, how Arsenal executed the greatest bottle job of all time,
And why we think Kieran Trippier will be sleeping alone this summer.
let's get into it.
Before this episode starts, I would like to make a quick announcement. I'll be hosting a military preparation seminar day on the 22nd of July at Forders Gym in Birmingham. We have sourced industry-leading experts to cover a range of topics, including performance nutrition, mindset, self-defence, and much more. Tickets are limited, so to secure yours, click the top link in the description. Back to the show.
And we're back.
Welcome back. This is a highly awaited episode.
You requested it and we've delivered. This is the inaugural Brummy Brothers Premier League end of season award ceremony. There's a mouthful for you.
Yeah, and you did well there to pronounce that. So the awards aren't conventional, as you might imagine. Some are, and some aren't, but we're going to go through, is it 10 awards?
Yeah, so we've got 10 awards, mix of sensible and silly.
Yeah.
And very on brand.
Majority silly.
Yeah, majority silly, we'll be honest. And we've had a break from the usual structure of the podcast because there's no helmet of the week and there's no reason to be cheerful. They're kind of integrated.
Yeah, because they're all involved with the awards, so that they'd be pointless to do both of those as well.
So without further ado, should we get into the nitty gritty, or should we crack a bev?
We'll crack a bev first. We need to do some Premier League admin.
Yeah, we need to do some podcast admin and some Premier League admin.
Yeah,
there are two orders of housekeeping today.
Let's get a bev going first.
Yeah, so
this again is serving as a pre-drinks for Ascend.
Yeah, so the podcast admin today is that it's Redders, which is we were originally going to wear suits and then we chinned that off.
Yeah, so we had the idea of replicating Monday Night Football with Gary Neville.
Yeah, who's who there?
Yeah, true. I don't know. And wearing the suits and getting all that sort of stuff. But then it transpired that it was about 25 degrees, so we decided against that idea. And then we went for the retro football shirts and shorts, which I think is better anyway. It's more of a summer vibe.
It's very British.
Yeah.
And we're all about Britain on this podcast.
Very true.
And it's Armed Forces Day as well.
Yeah. Cheers.
Saturday the 24th of June.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Love that.
Sound. Ryan the drinking.
Oh, that's refreshing.
That is refreshing. Yes. So we're going to get straight into the awards, or are we going to do a bit of Premier League admin beforehand? Are we going to talk about the teams?
Yeah. So
the awards are very, very specific player heavy, aren't they?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we'll talk about our overall thoughts of how the season went.
Okay.
So let's give our 10 pence worth.
Okay. So the obvious elephant in the room is Arsenal.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. Arsenal are going to get quite a lot of flack within the awards, so don't worry about that.
Let's hold back on them now then. But yeah, obviously the obvious thing where everyone thought they were going to win the season, they thought they were going to win the league the entire way through, and then got pipped to the post by the obvious Manchester City. But that treble winning team in Manchester City is fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, whatever comes of this financial irregularities, which definitely have happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the team's still got to turn up on the day and perform on the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can make a distinction between what goes on in the boardroom and what's happening in the dressing room. Like, I think you've just got to accept that.
Like the boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground
have done a fucking good job.
Yeah, they have.
The mad thing is though the ability to spread between all of the different competitions. Obviously, having like a game every 3 days and having to win it, and then because they didn't even put any like hay in the barn in the start of the season. Like there was shit at the start of the season, so it meant when the games ramped up at like, you know, towards the Champions League and, you know, FA Cup finals, all that kind of stuff, when everything came to a head, that was when they also had to really perform in the league because they hadn't had any points banked up from before.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Well, again, this is where it's hard not to throw shade on Arsenal, because towards the end of the season,
true.
City was still competing on all fronts, and Arsenal had put all their eggs in the Premier League basket. And it just still unravelled before their very eyes.
Yeah, they had like 7 or 8 days between one of the games and then their like seminal game against City.
Yeah.
And then they went and just like lost 4-1.
And they fucked it. Well, we watched it, didn't we? We went to watch it because we thought, oh, this is going to be spicy.
Yeah.
And then was it like 3-0 at half time or something?
It was like pitched as like the game of the season where it was all going to be, you know, whoever wins this is going to win the league. And then
it was just the pumping at the Etihad, wasn't it?
Yeah, they just got fucking smashed.
So for you, what are your overall thoughts of the season? I thought it went on for fucking ages.
It did. That was because of the World Cup.
Because of the World Cup.
Yeah,
it seemed very protracted.
For a while. But I think that's only because they had such an intense period of games in the middle of the... Because the actual length of the season wasn't too much different.
No,
but
it was
in
just...
the middle, like just after the World Cup, there was like a game every like fucking minute.
Yeah, so like the top teams were averaging like at least 2 games a week, really, weren't they?
At least that, and that's just in the league as well.
Yeah.
That was before all the European stuff started to come back, which is mad. But I thought it was quite an entertaining season because it wasn't the classic. You know, obviously Liverpool did shit until the end, really.
Which we'll get on
Which
to.
we'll get to.
Chelsea.
Teams like Chelsea,
12th?
exactly. That's mental.
Fucking 12. That is criminal. They finished 10 points above the relegation zone.
That's terrible.
Having spent 600 million.
Yeah, and if so to put that into context, if Frank Lampard had got there earlier, they'd have probably been relegated.
Yeah,
the only reason they didn't get relegated because it was a mathematical impossibility.
Yeah, literally.
They were losing every game.
He's a club legend though, so it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
right.
so,
Yeah, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Got to let him go. Well, obviously we've got Liverpool who bottled it, which we'll get to. Tottenham, again, very disappointing season. Like they were horrendous to watch towards the end.
Tottenham's mindset, their mentality as a club is toilet.
I can't get on board with that. Yeah.
They've not got that winning philosophy. You know that
They
like,
haven't.
United and Liverpool and Chelsea in recent years, to a certain extent, have just got that winning mindset.
Yeah. Well, they just have an expectation of themselves to finish like top 4, top 3, that kind of thing.
Mate,
Spurs don't really have that.
Spurs are that bird who thinks she's essence, right? And at best, she's a morning 4.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True. That's very true.
Because all of her mates have bigged her up for years, right? And she's got this inflated...
She's a top club.
Yeah. You're in your top club, mate.
She's got an inflated ego. You're only as good as your last game.
When was Tottenham's last trophy? Was it like the Carling Cup in 2008 or something? That's pathetic.
You can't count that, bro.
That's feeble, isn't it?
That's that bird. That morning 4.
Yeah.
Her last accolade was when she pulled an 8. That was 2008. Look.
And he was blind. And he was blind.
Yeah. So Tottenham is shit. To take that full circle. But then, I thought it was entertaining just because of... So, all the way towards the end, the top 2, 3... Sort of the top 3 and then the top 1 and 2 were all contested towards pretty much the end. And then the relegation zone, again, was the same.
Yeah.
So, every, important bit of the league was contested all the way in, which is not normal. Normally, you have City run away with it. That's boring. And then you've got teams at the bottom who are just going down no matter what.
Well, I remember when we were younger, there were some United teams that had won the league by like fucking April.
Yeah,
it was just a formality. It was shit.
Yeah, that is boring.
Because they were just so good.
Compared to everyone else.
Compared relatively.
Yeah.
Whereas now at the competition level, and you've got like unsung teams as well. So like Newcastle, Brighton, Villa,
Brighton as well. Brentford,
the new boys on the scene. Yeah, Brentford, massively punching above their weight.
Yeah, 9th, mate.
Brighton's transfer policy is mad. They'll pluck someone from like the fucking Peruvian 3rd division, and he'll get like 10 goals and assists in the Prem.
Yeah, it's class.
And they'll pay his dad about 4 postage stamps and a donkey.
And they finished 6th, mate. That's fucking unreal, that is.
Yeah.
Also, the opposite side of that, Nottingham Forest transfer policy.
Throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what happens.
Yeah, let's just reinvamp our entire fucking team. So we're going to buy 18 players in January and see what happens.
Mate, that shit
was terrible.
That can't have come from Steve Cooper.
No,
that's come from the board, hasn't it? Because as a manager, like he's got a bit about him. He's not going to think,
thing you can do.
Right, so I'm going to take 18 strangers and try and gel them in the space of a week and a half.
Yeah, and then they've got to play together for another 6 months.
To be fair, he pulled it off.
Well, it didn't go down.
But like, you wouldn't do that again this summer. Surely they've got to have a strategy. in place.
Yeah, that's what it lacks. Strategy. It's just like let's just throw loads of money at the problem and see what happens.
Yeah. He's like, what's going to get us more Instagram followers? Right, we'll sign him.
Well, they got Jesse Lingard, didn't they? And he never fucking saw the light day.
YouTube footballer Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, true.
Over the hill and far away.
Well, yeah, exactly. He was really good at one point, wasn't he? He bottled it. Then you got Man U, who last year were fucking scrapping for 6th or whatever it was. I think they come like 6th or 8th or something last year. Top 3. I mean, Eric Ten Hag put it out of the fucking...
To be fair, it wasn't looking good for him initially. They got that 4-0 drubbing at Brentford, and then it changed like that. I think he gave him a Fergie hairdryer after that.
He's had to do a lot in terms of like hard decisions though throughout, because he had, remember Ronaldo?
Was that this season?
Yeah, Ronaldo started the season.
That's how long this season's gone on for.
Yeah, exactly. So he was that was a shit situation for a new manager to come into. I thought he dealt with that really well, to be fair. Considering Ronaldo's almost supersedes any like a club. His brand supersedes a club and a manager, which is shit.
That was the issue, isn't it? Because the player was getting bigger than the club, and you can't have that.
Can't have and especially when the player, like, yes, he was good back in the day, but it wasn't like now he's like a game changer.
He's a bit
player,
washed up, isn't he?
Like, he's decent. He scored like 1 or 2 worldies, but he wasn't like a game changer.
No, like as soon as a player got bigger than United when Fergie was in charge, he was out the door. Yeah, which is why they got rid of Ronaldo initially.
Yeah, true. He was getting massive.
Shipped him off to Real Madrid because he knew he was.
That's where he belongs.
Yeah, the Galacticos, right?
Yeah. So I was mega impressed with Ten Hag this year. He's fucking pulled it out of the bag.
Right. So before we give it any more spoilers away, should we get on with some awards?
Let's go.
Because we can discuss the ins and outs of it through the awards.
I could get lost talking about football forever.
So the first award is one of the only sensible awards. It's Player of the Season.
Okay.
So the way that we're going to structure this is I'm going to throw out a few nominees and then we'll mull it over.
Have you got the same amount for each one? 3?
2 or 3.
Okay.
4 for some.
Okay.
So there are clearly less nominees for certain awards, as will become clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is pretty nailed on, but we'll discuss it for the sake of it anyway.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of Erling Haaland.
Yeah, the obvious.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard, Arsenal captain. They were the 3 ones that jumped out to me, really.
Yeah,
it's basically Erling Haaland, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no real point in putting nominees forward, is there? Because he's ridiculous. He scored like 52 goals.
Yeah, and he 36 in the league.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Right. So you play the season, you know that.
Yeah. You've broken all the records, you know.
Yeah. Who was it that wrote him off at the start of the season? Was it
Gary Neville?
Was it Neville or Carragher?
So I don't know. There was a big narrative of he makes City worse or something because they've never had an out-and-out striker.
But how can someone that contributes 50-odd goals a season make a team worse?
Especially a team that's already City.
Unless the person he's replacing scored 100 goals.
Yeah. Especially when that team is already winning the league and winning doubles and that kind of thing. And then you bring him into the equation, right, and now you won a treble.
But his stats at the start of the season were suggesting that he was making them worse because people were interpreting them wrong, I think, because he'd only have about 5 or 6 touches per game, but 3 of them would be goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's like, but he's not involved in the play. No, that's because his job is to stand in the 6-yard box and fucking bury the ball in the net,
which he's doing.
Yeah,
multiple times per game. He scored like 52 goals in 50 games or something.
That's stupid. That's one of like Messi form, like at peak Barcelona.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, especially in the league he's in as well, which is, like we said, is massively competitive.
Yeah,
and defences are pretty good. I think early on that they weren't used to playing with that kind of forward, though, were they?
No,
so
they
weren't finding it with the balls. That's why they were saying, making him worse, or he's not used to it, or whatever. But then as soon as they picked it up, how he kind of runs, how he does, and they've got players like De Bruyne who can just find him. But
you've got players around him who can carry a game by the scruff of the neck anyway.
Yeah.
So you sprinkle him in as well.
Yeah.
How old is he? Like 22 or something?
He's like 16.
Yeah, basically. He's not even got pubes yet. Imagine how good he'd be when he hits puberty.
He might probably grow another 6 inches.
But apparently the success behind the nutrition is raw cow's milk.
Really?
Apparently that's what he attributes his athleticism to.
Right, have that vegan.
That's very Norwegian, isn't it? That He's just fucking suckling a cow's teat.
Exactly. That's probably where he gets it from, straight from the teat.
Nice and warm. Reminds me of the womb. Right, so that's Player of the Season.
Yeah, pretty obvious one.
Erling Haaland, you don't get any points for fucking coming up with that. Team of the Season, second. I think this is the last sensible one.
Right, okay.
So we get all
them out of the way.
Get through all this. So we've touched on a few of these teams. We've obviously got Man City.
Yes.
Treble winners.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to kind of look past them.
It is. But you've got to, I think, take multiple things into the equation, haven't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they're not the team of the season by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that Everton managed to somehow stay out of the fucking relegation zone, they were terrible, mate, at the start of the season.
They were
going for such a fucking long time with just no points.
Sean Dyche may be the second coming of Christ for what he's achieved with Everton, because they were pony.
Yeah, they were terrible. And then, I mean, they're only 2 points out the relegation zone now, but that's
was it Brighton that they pumped 5-0 and it came
6-1,
out
wasn't it?
Oh, it was something like that, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then they lost the next game 4-0.
Yeah, but that massively helped their goal difference. Anyway, Brighton are one of the other teams that I've got down team of the
Yes,
season.
yeah, again. Just
You
like
can't look
like
past
a Leicester moment.
First ever European qualification.
Yeah.
De Zerbi is a fucking genius.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the thing is,
It's
right,
ridiculous.
he's not only got them up the league, he's got them playing nice football as well.
No, they actually look really good.
Like, you
Especially,
enjoy-
even against teams like Chelsea or whatever, they'll hold their own. They'll
Yeah.
be really good.
It's
Well,
it reminds me
Chelsea are
of
shit, but-
Liverpool when Klopp first came to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know there's going to be goals, you don't quite know what's going to happen, but you're going to enjoy watching it. It's a bit
Yeah,
like
very
that
true.
kind of vibe.
Very true. Yeah, Brighton are up there, I think. I mean, again, there's just so many. Like Newcastle and Man U are probably up there as well.
So I've got
Newcastle
Newcastle, Man U, then Villa as well.
Yeah,
So
Villa
when-
had a
so-
really good season.
They were in basically the relegation zone when Unai Emery came in.
Yeah.
And-
Gerrard at the start of the season.
He was
Fucking
a
hell.
fucking pony manager, by the way.
Yeah.
I support Liverpool, but stay in your lane, Gerrard,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's fucking shit.
Yeah, staying in line of free kick taking. So
But yeah,
Good
so
manager.
since Emery came into Villa, on league points they were third, I think. At
I
the
know.
end
I'm
of the
sure
season.
they only got overtaken by Man City at the last moment. or
Yeah, yeah, and I think they qualified for the Conference League, so
something. Yeah.
ahead of Spurs.
That's a fair point. But I do think just because of the treble, I don't think we can write Man City off. Can we? Really?
You've got to give. So it's annoying because they set the standard so high. It
Yeah.
doesn't really feel like an achievement to give it to Man City because
True.
they always play so. But you're right. You can't look past it. It's the first treble since what is it?
90.
Yeah, United
something.
99.
Yeah, and that's mad. And the amount of stuff they have to, the amount of games they have to individually win against ridiculous
Yeah.
opposition to win that.
But the mad
Accolade.
thing is, there wasn't even that much squad rotation.
No, I
Because
think, no, I think
Pep barely made subs towards the end of the
he
season.
doesn't make subs normally. But what happened? I think for a lot of this first bit of the season when they were a bit shit,
Yeah.
he was playing around with like the
Aye, he
defence
was,
and shit.
yeah.
Because he didn't have like a proper left back or proper right back or something. They were getting Nathan Ake was going in and out.
Yeah. Well, he
and then-
fucked Joe Cancelo off in January, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So that was happening. All that shit was going on towards the start of the year, and then he found his like 11
And then he was like,
that were working, and
and
they fucking
and he
worked.
got on purring.
And they just fucking went.
Yeah.
He had him singing.
Because he was
while they
he
knew
was
it.
playing that. I forgot what his name is, but that academy lad was playing over João Cancelo, and then in January he just fucked him off to
Yeah.
Bayern Munich,
Yeah. João Cancelo's sick as well. By the way.
and he was
he
he
was
got
class.
like Kanji's absolutely boss
Yeah,
signing
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, that was a class
Everyone was
signing.
expecting him to be a squad player,
His
and
first team.
I think he had the most minutes of all Man City defenders. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, his first team. Also, fucking John Stones.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. Wasn't he like a centre defensive mid?
People talking about Trent moving into midfield. What about the general?
I know he's-
The general John Stones,
General
man.
G.
Yeah,
He's fucking snuck in there, mate. Quality he was.
it's class. That is. I
Hey,
love
man.
John Stones.
I know. He seems like he's just so calm and collected on the ball, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, sweet.
Good old Yorkshireman.
Yeah. I think we've got to give it to them, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got to give it to Man
Yeah.
City.
Boom. Man City, team of the season.
So this is the first silly one. This is very on brand for us.
Just
Wait.
checking that you're still you're in shot.
Am I in shot?
I think, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Just about.
I just
Right,
can't
so-
see because against the background.
Yeah, some camera admin going on there. Again, and if you are listening to this on audio, I would highly recommend that you actually watch the visuals of it because there's a lot going on set.
There is, and it's video available on Spotify as well. So if you're on Spotify, just fucking tilt your phone the other way, and you see us
Exactly,
in
in all our glory. We've got some trophies on display. We've got Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Make of that what you will.
Completely random.
So I'm going to pitch this award to you, and
Okay.
then you can throw some names about, and I'm going to get a bev in the meantime.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Right, okay. Yogurt bod of the season. Right, again, very on brand for us. This is effectively the player in the Prem with the worst rig.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a fair few, you know.
I feel like there's not necessarily any bad rigs, but there's lots of average rigs to say that they're
have you
athletes.
got some nominees? Who are the nominees?
See, I couldn't nail down any nominees, but you want some mid-table kind of like Anthony Gordon's got a gopping rig, hasn't he? He's got like a little
yeah.
prepubescent.
He's got like a skinny fat thing going
Yeah.
on. yeah.
As will become clear, we don't hold Anthony Gordon in very high esteem, do we?
Yeah.
He's not done anything wrong.
He's not a great player. Yeah, skinny fat's a weird one. A lot of the bods in the Prem, they're not like you say, they're not fat. They are skinny fat. So a lot of them lack a lot of tone. and they lack some muscle mass too. So I think that's where the yogurt bod comes in. If you're not familiar with what a yogurt bod is, essentially it's if someone's running and there's more jiggle than there should be. That's where a yogurt bod comes in. But anyway, Anthony Gordon's a good shout. Mid table, like I don't know.
So I think part of the reason with mulling over this award, right, is that because if someone's got a yogurt bod, right, you would assume that they're bad at football, and therefore they don't stand out.
Yeah.
So I can't really think of it. Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I mean he's.
See, I don't know whether
he's flown under the radar this year because he hasn't basically played.
I don't know whether he actually has got a gopping rig or whether he's just pony. So I assume he's got a gopping rig.
I think he's both. To be honest.
Both.
He's pony.
So he's the worst of the worst of all worlds.
Yeah, basically. You know who's fucking shredded? Mo Salah.
Yeah. We don't actually have
absolute shreds.
We don't have an award for best rig of the season.
We don't.
But Salah will be up
too
there.
Positive. But Salah will be up there.
Yeah.
And I guess Ronaldo because he's.
Yeah, because technically he was a United player.
And he's just got like fucking 2% body fat or something that he cuts around with yearly. But yeah, I mean, again, lots of skinny fat rigs going on in the Prem. I think you're right about Harry Maguire. I'm guessing he hasn't got a great rig.
No. Well, we'll give it to Harry Maguire because he's not going to win any other awards. Put it that way.
Unless it's shittest defender.
Which I can't remember who I've nominated, but it could be him. Right. Okay. So the next award, get ready for this, is the Aaron Hunt Memorial Award for biggest cock in the league. So if you're not familiar with TikTok's own Aaron Hunt, he's the guy that sits in his work van and talks about how big different players' cocks are.
Yeah, and who would Roger who, you know.
Yeah, so this award is dedicated to him.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
His pursuits for finding the biggest cock in the league.
Yeah, hopefully we'll help him out with this nomination.
So I'll run through some nominees. Dan Burn, 6'6".
Nice.
He's got to have a chopper.
You hope so. You know, imagine the like perception of if he's 6'6" and he's got a little.
This is the problem, right, with tall blokes, because if you've got
speaking from experience
as a short king, so unless you do fulfil your destiny of having a massive weapon, proportionally it will look smaller than it would do on an average bloke.
Yeah, you've got to be packing heat.
So it's all in or nothing, effectively.
Yeah, if you're above, I feel like if you're above, as a rule of thumb, right, if you're above 6'3", you've got to have above average in the old.
Because otherwise, every inch under average, it's like double.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So if you had a 4-inch cock, it would look like a 2-inch cock.
Yeah. So if you've got like a 4, you're basically on a micro penis. If you're 6'6", you got a 4-inch cock, mate. You know.
I wonder if our mate Sterling Cooper does the rounds with all the Premier League clubs.
I bet he does.
Dropping Dan Burn a DM.
He does if they're 6'6". Mate, do you want to get back into proportion?
So our mate Erling Haaland got to come up again.
Do you reckon?
6'4". Scandi vibes.
I hope not, because he got everything else going for money.
I reckon he could have a bit of a pencil going on.
You reckon?
You know, he's got length, but he's not got the girth. Hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
I get that. I get. But again, I don't know. Sometimes, like, you know, the you can't say. You can't say.
Did you just remember where you were and what you were talking about? Yeah.
You definitely can't say what I was about to say. You know the kind of strength that we say you've got.
The un-PC term for that is mong strength.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the kid who had that had a big knob, and Haaland definitely got that.
Am I the exception to the rule then?
Yours doesn't work.
Yeah. Traumatised from that time in SF.
Right, we got off Peter.
Yeah, we got off it. We got from Erling Haaland to SF. That's in 3 steps. That's quite impressive.
That's pretty good. That. I mean, I clipped that, Jen.
Virgil van Dijk, 6'4".
Yeah, he's got to have a.
He's a big lad.
Is he either got a piece or he's got a little one because he's got a bit of a complex on him, hasn't he?
He has.
Yeah.
He's needlessly aggressive.
He is. Well, not needlessly. He's good.
He's a good lad. The thing is, he's tall, right, but he's dense as well.
Yeah.
Which suggested
he's Dutch.
And he's Dutch. Actually, that's a point. I didn't even think of that. Statistically, of all nations, not
how much research have you done?
They have the
geographical size.
They have the biggest cocks, don't they?
Well, they must do. I mean, I think Virgil's, he's up there, I reckon.
Virgil, first name terms. He gets to the same swingers club as I do.
Yeah. I've measured it.
Yeah, but it felt big in my mouth. So.
Have you put any numbers to these?
What? I don't actually know how big their cock is. Oh, is it like, are we going to estimate?
Yeah,
Right, okay, we've got one more nominee first.
Oh, okay.
Mikel Antonio, because he's a favourite with Aaron Hunt, so I thought I'd throw him in so we could mull it over. I don't see the hype.
I don't know, maybe I don't know.
To be fair, he's a unit.
Yeah, that's true. He's dense.
I reckon he's got a shredded cock, maybe.
Veiny.
Yeah. I bought some papers. We can mock up some sketches.
Yeah.
So Dan Burn is the tallest of the nominees. He's pushing 7, I reckon.
He's got to. I mean, again, like we've said, if he's not, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, because any inch,
anything below 5.5 for him looks tiny.
any inch under 5, perspective wise, would come across as double to the naked eye. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's quite gangly as well.
Yeah, he is. He's a big lad. Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll go just shy of 7.
To be honest, I can't see anyone else topping that. I think I'll put Van Dijk in second.
Yeah, I'll go Van Dijk's my pick.
I mean, if we're going historically, Peter Crouch would be up there.
Yeah,
6'7", but again, he could fall into pencil territory.
He could, but what I would say is look at the bird he's knobbing.
Abby Clancy.
He's got to have something there, hasn't he?
She's
You know what I mean? So,
unreal. She's like pushing 40 now, I think.
yeah, ridiculous, man.
Mental.
Unreal form.
She's got a good chat as well.
Unreal form, that is. Well done.
Like he's
Crouch.
knocked it out the park. It's a testament to what he says about the fact, you know, that the old adage, what would you be if you weren't a footballer? A virgin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
That's
you're gonna
the same as what,
if you're gonna lose
Jimmy Carr
if
said.
you're gonna lose your virginity, you might as well lose it to Abby Clancy.
Exactly. I don't think she's in the market anymore, but I mean, if you
Definitely. But the thing is, I wouldn't want to take her off Crouch because he's a legend.
Yeah, he's a good lad. So he deserves that.
So I think are we gonna say Dan Burn?
We'll say Dan Burn and Van Dijk in a close second.
Yeah. We can't give Haaland everything. He's gonna clean
he's
up
had
it.
enough.
Right, okay.
He's had enough.
And this is where we come to helmet of the season.
Ooh.
And this isn't necessarily an individual. This could be a moment or a team.
Right, okay.
So bear that in mind when I run through the nominations, and then we can discuss. So obviously, top of the list is Arsenal's Warra Trophy league title, which is at this moment in time is definitely favourite.
Yeah.
Chelsea's mid-table finish is actually below mid-table. It's 12th.
Yeah, terrible.
And then kind of an individual moment, Man United 7-0 demolition at Anfield. Got to throw that in for good measure.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that came out of nowhere.
They fucking folded that day.
Because it was after we did that 18-mile
yeah.
training run. We were like,
We'll
sound, we'll watch this. And I'm a Liverpool fan, and I wasn't holding out much hope, to be honest. I thought it could go the opposite way.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because on the run of form,
Yeah.
United were looking pretty good, and Liverpool were pretty shit.
I think was it 1-0 at half time?
Yeah, and then they just folded
And
completely.
they just complete like.
But as soon as he got to 3-0,
they down.
wrapped.
But this is what I mean. This is what makes them helmety, right? Because they down tools.
A lot of that though this season.
And the
'Cause
biggest,
there's a lot of big score lines.
the biggest culprit of all of that in the United team,
Bruno
is
Fernandes.
Bruno fucking Fernandes. And if you're watching, not that you will be,
I hope you are.
you are a cunt.
Yeah,
I hate him.
So we need to fucking touch on this.
Yeah,
He is. a
But
cunt,
new
man.
nomination, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Shittest captain.
But he is though. He's got to
Exactly.
be the shittest captain
If you're
in the
the
league.
captain of that team, when shit starts to go south, you can't start to throw your arms in the air,
Yeah.
like, have shit body language, because those blokes are looking at you for a fucking inspiration.
Well, you could argue that is why it was 7-0 and not 3-0.
Yeah.
Because at 3-0 he wrapped his tits in.
Yeah, and so the rest of the team go, okay, well the captain's done it. I'll
Yeah,
fucking...
he was fucking throwing tantrums. He was chasing the ref about.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to get his number, which he
Playing kiss
probably
chase
is
with the
knowing
ref.
him. It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
He fucking really annoys me, to be honest. Because even when they're like winning or drawing or whatever, when the ball's in their court, should we say, he's still the same. Like as soon as he loses the ball or whatever, he just raps. He's like, fuck's sake, doesn't chase back or anything. That really gets me. That does.
He like encapsulates everything that I hate most about modern football.
Yeah, and because he's good at like he's really good, right? But he's not good enough to be as much of a cunt as he is.
That's what I
Do you
mean.
know
So,
what I
like, don't get me wrong, he's a good footballer, but then he completely undoes all of that by being a bellend.
Yeah, he undermines it completely. So
But he thinks he has the right to be a bellend because he thinks he's better than he is at football.
Yeah, so like Ronaldo, for example, he's fucking like one of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a cunt, but he can be a cunt because he's amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas
Equally,
Bruno's
though,
not on that
Messi,
fucking level.
not a cunt.
No, true. No, that's true.
But yeah, I see what you mean. I know what you're saying. Like, Ronaldo has earned the right to be a bit of a knobhead.
Yeah, he's not that much of a knobhead. He's just competitive, I think, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But he does tend to do a little bit of the same. Maybe it's a Portuguese thing. He does do a little bit of the same, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because when them two were on the same team, and both of them are throwing the toys out of the pram, that's terrible.
Yeah,
you've got like a senior professional Ronaldo,
leading by example,
and then you've got a captain, and both of them are fucking like wrapped basically.
Yeah.
It's like the rest of the team are like right,
and they all
brilliant.
get behind it. It's the international football can get very frustrating. We won't get into racial stereotypes, but certain countries can play them out a bit.
Yeah, that's true. Argentina.
Yeah.
One of them.
So Bruno Fernandes / Man United 7-0 drubbing at
Yeah,
Anfield.
we'll give it Bruno Fernandes as the title for that one.
We'll cover Chelsea next because this needs addressing.
Yeah,
So I think they've spent about 600 million since
more than that.
our friend Todd Bowley, the American, took over at
Didn't
Stamford
he tweet
Bridge.
something?
He probably
tweet
tweets
now?
a lot. He's a hat.
Yeah, tweeted something before a big game like we're gonna kill him. Like it was like they were against. Did they play Real Madrid in the Champions League?
Yes, that rings a bell.
And then I think he tweeted beforehand, all these new players are gonna get with fucking smash, and then they got absolutely fucking thrashed.
So we need to talk about Todd Bowley and the fact that he's an American because I think that's something to do with the fact that why he's such a cunt.
Yeah, I mean,
Why do Americans ruin everything?
well, they're not.
So it was bad enough under Abramovich, right? You didn't think that Chelsea could get any more kind of ultra capitalist, and then the Americans like hold my beer.
Yeah, trust.
And he's throwing money at everyone. Man, honestly, if a representative of Chelsea rang up your club and said they're interested in a player, you just double his asking price.
Yeah,
because you know they're going to throw the money.
It's mad as well because we've got City who are under the cosh for financial fair play.
Yeah,
and then you've got Chelsea who are spending 600 million inside one transfer window.
Yeah.
To like uproot their entire team.
See, this is dodgy, isn't it? So surely they must be culpable.
Yeah, surely. But
So,
the
to
reason,
be
I think
fair-
the reason is because they're so shit.
That-
If they'd have won the league, there'd have been questions asked.
But it's something to do with the contracts, right? Again, I'm not a nose. I might have to ask my friend Mr. Winklepicker this because he's probably all over
He'll
the numbers.
definitely know this,
Yeah. He doesn't actually know who he is, but he'll be watching. So
He
I think
will be
it's
this one,
because
will
they
it?
offer really irregularly long contracts to the players.
Right, okay.
So the money's actually spread out over quite a long years.
Yeah.
But still, that's
Maybe.
bullshit. You shouldn't
It's-
be able to find a loophole in the system.
No,
That means the system's not fit for purpose.
well, that's the whole point of a loophole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, who they buy now? But João Felix, that fucking...
Who got a red card in his first game?
That was amazing. By
Mudryk,
Mudryk, yeah.
who's yet to fucking
He
do
looked
fuck all.
really good in his first game and I never saw him again.
Koulibaly in the summer,
Yeah.
he was shit.
Yeah.
Wrapped his tits in.
And then, but they bought like 6 players for 100 million each, pretty much.
Yeah.
And which is almost it's over half a team worth of players.
Yeah.
And then they still proceeded to lose pretty much every game. And then they put...
12 lads.
Right,
They
they bought
finished
all these
12.
players, yeah. Bought all these players. And then they thought, who should we get to manage all these players? Let's get Lampard.
Oh, right. This
With
is
his-
the other
with
thing
his-
we need
with
to
his
cover.
brilliant club record.
No. This is right. So they started the season with Thomas Tuchel. Right.
Yeah, what happened there?
Right. Great manager.
Didn't they like sack him on Twitter
Yeah.
or something?
Fucked him off. Got Graham Potter in. Right.
Yeah,
Again.
who's a good manager?
Good
But
manager.
he just wasn't a fit.
Wasn't right fit.
No.
Too much pressure on him. Like he needed a long time. Fucked him off. And then you end the season with Frank Lampard.
That's a collapse, that, innit?
So you've gone from
That's
Thomas.
like
You've gone from Thomas Tuchel, who's now at Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
manager.
right. So he's good enough for Bayern Munich. He's not good enough for Chelsea.
And he won in the Champions League in their first season.
Yeah,
Chelsea
the
so
Champions
reactionary,
League winner. This is what I mean. This
So
is what I hate
reactionary,
about
bro.
Chelsea.
Like, they're like, we haven't won 3 games, fuck the manager off.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so
But
stupid.
the thing is, that is not just in the boardroom now. That's ingrained into the culture of the fans, which is bad.
Yeah, because
they're
as
the
soon as they
same.
start to get on a little run now of losing,
Yeah,
they're gone.
So-
Haven't they got a new manager now?
yeah.
Isn't
Poch.
Poch, yeah, I thought so.
So how long are they going to give him if he loses his opening 2 games of the season? They'll be calling for his head.
But I think because it's like they've changed now and into a new season, they'll surely.
Well, they've already splashed loads of money again this summer.
Oh,
I forgot who they've signed, but there's some hat.
Yeah, well, that's their answer to everything. Their answer to everything is either spend loads of money or the manager must be fucking shit, so let's get rid of him.
Or both, in most cases.
Yeah. And the fact they ended with Lampard, who at the club, his club record's like genuinely like a 3% win rate.
Mate, his record ever. So, like, he's basically been living off the fact he had a fluky season with Derby County for like the past 6 years. Because he went to Chelsea, fuck that.
Yeah, but how does a fucking half decent season at Derby grant you Chelsea?
Trust me,
Like,
when you
mental.
had Mason Mount on loan, and like Harry Wilson,
I mean it's like no other, only because he's obviously Frank Lampard that's happened. No other fucking manager would get that come up straight away, and obviously shock he wasn't ready for it.
Well, I'm glad Liverpool didn't fall into the same trap
Gerrard.
this season. Because you know when Klopp was wobbling earlier this season,
Everyone was calling for
and everyone was like,
it.
"Oh, is he going to go? Is he not going to go?" If that was Chelsea, they would have fucked him off, got Gerrard in after Villa chinned him off, and he probably would have got relegated.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I love about Klopp though? He was fucking addressing that in the press conference. He was like, "Yeah, I know shit. Like, if they're gonna get rid of me, they're gonna get rid of me.
Take all the pressure off the players."
Yeah, he just disarms the press.
I love that.
Like, it's class.
Then they go quiet.
It's a bit like you've seen 8 Mile. You haven't seen 8 Mile.
Oh, I can't get into
Nah,
it.
okay,
That's a conversation for another podcast.
It's American. So 8 Mile in the final rap battle with Eminem and his fucking adversary.
Yeah.
All he does is basically he goes first and tells the guy everything about him that he's going to tell him back. So then he just completely disarms him, and the guy who's doing his rap battle is like, right, I've got nothing now because you just undermined my entire
self-deprecating.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
That's what Klopp does, and it's fucking class.
Yeah. So Chelsea is shit. 12th, mate. 15th in the home form table. Imagine how much Imagine how much a season ticket at Stamford Bridge is.
I bet, mate, London price.
Fucking the only teams that have got a worse home record than you are Bournemouth, Leeds, Everton, Leicester, and Southampton, and 3 of those teams went down.
Right, best attack also 15th.
That's shit. This is inexcusable. Bearing in mind they've spent the most money out of any team in the league.
That is mad, and they're also 11th in the away table.
Yeah, which is fucking shit.
That's fucking horrendous.
Right,
yeah.
so Chelsea
are probably. We've spent the most time talking about Chelsea, so I feel like.
Yeah, so we'll move on from Chelsea, but in any other circumstance, right, Chelsea would get helmet of the season.
Yeah.
But they've only been superseded by Warra Trophy Arsenal, and we'll now talk about that. Right, so Arsenal's Warra Trophy League title. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that. I mean,
do you know how long they were top of the league for?
Wasn't it?
It's a record. 248 days.
Fucking hell, that is mad.
That's inexcusable. 8-point lead they had at one point.
They had a massive lead, didn't they? Where are they? They're 3rd in the home, 1st in the away table, to be fair.
So they lost both home and away games against City.
That was the thing, wasn't it?
You can't be
losing
really to
really
tight
tight margins, wasn't it? I think they couldn't just deal with the pressure. There was like, while they were sailing ahead, they were sound and they were like, yeah, we're cool, we're winning every game. And as soon as City started to close the gap,
they
were like, ooh.
Because psychologically, when they thought they were home and dry, there was no pressure on them.
Very young team.
Yeah, as soon as City got closing the gap, it was squeaky bum time, wasn't it? And they couldn't handle it.
They couldn't, man. They were like, they looked really tired. They looked like they were sloppy. It was like,
so it was
terrible.
It was that run of games, about 10 games before the end of the season, where they were 2-0 up at Anfield, drew, 2-0 up at West Ham, drew.
Yeah, there was a couple of them, and then they lost.
3-3 with Southampton at the Emirates, where they should have, they were 2-0 down, then 3-1 down.
Something like
that. And they drew 3-3, and the Arsenal fans were celebrating it like a win.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you should have pumped them 4-0.
You just dropped 2 points against bottom of the league.
They're literally smack bang bottom of the league.
Yeah, they were already relegated almost by that point. Right?
That was stupid. And then they got pumped by City, and then it was wraps. It was...
Yeah, that was it then. As soon as City beat them, you knew that every passing game they were getting further and further away.
If they just held on to those leads against the other teams, they would have won.
You know what's mad though? That City still finished with a 5-point deficit. That should have been like a 1 point.
Yeah.
You know,
Arsenal wrapped their tits in there.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So that they should have been fucking scrapping to the end. It wasn't that close at the end, and you were thinking all the way through the season. You think it's going to be within a point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
So what do
Yeah.
you reckon?
I dunno.
Here? You've got to give it to Arsenal as well a trophy.
Yeah, I
But
think
right, okay, and this is my
overall,
issue, right?
Honourable mention for Chelsea.
Arsenal fans made this so much worse for themselves than they needed to.
Yeah.
Because from the off, they were fucking gobbing away all season about how this is their time,
Yeah.
and we
And
know.
as soon as they get a little bit of rope as well,
Yeah,
they fucking.
you give them an
take it,
inch,
don't
they take a mile.
Yeah.
Start talking about the Invincibles.
Yeah.
They weren't even that good, by the way. The amount of games they drew that season.
I know.
And the Invincibles, they lost to Middlesbrough in the cup as well. Is that invincible?
Yeah, Middlesbrough. It's
Yeah, exactly.
Always been shit.
But anyway, yeah. So Arsenal fans, you've dug a hole for yourself, and then you double down on it, and now you're trapped in the hole.
Yeah. So you win helmet of the season.
Yes, you do win helmet of the season. Chelsea, you've got away with one there.
Yeah,
because you were very
also
close.
Terrible.
That was shocking.
Both London teams.
They've got some big. Right, sorry to go on about Chelsea again. But where was Raheem Sterling this season? He's an
got
England
injured for a bit.
international.
He played. I saw him play one game, get injured, then never saw him again.
Kepa.
Yeah.
Right, this amazing keeper, right?
They brought him on. Do you remember when they brought him on in the FA Cup final or something? The FA
It
Cup
was
semi-final?
this season.
No, that's it for a penalty shootout.
No, it was the Carabao Cup,
Yes, yeah.
and it was the hoo-ha about like he won't come off or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he missed every penalty.
Right. So the next award is Gopping Lid of the Season in
Ooh.
partnership with the Harley Street Hair Transplant Clinic. So, as the title suggests, this is effectively the worst trim in the league.
Yeah, I mean there's a few footballers, right, seem to have a fucking habit of having the shittest trim.
Well, the classic is Beckham. Beckham
Yeah.
had some very. I mean, to be fair, he's aged like a fine wine.
Yeah,
But
that's
while
it.
he was playing, he had some very questionable trims.
It's
he had,
mad, I
he
think-
had cornrows at one point.
They must just go into like these designer barbers, right, and say just do what you will, because
Micah Richards,
yeah, he had
you know, he
some
gets like
mad
2
hair
haircuts a week or something, and he gets charged like 200 quid
per
each time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But he
like
has the
Jamie,
same trim.
Jamie Carragher was looking at him like, what?
Yeah, but he
He's
has the
like
same
thir-
trim every time.
He spends like 30 grand a year on getting his hair
Yeah,
cut,
every week.
and it looks exactly the same, like you said.
Yeah, and that week he'd had 3 because he was going out to like a Champions League thing or something. That's
oh yeah, so
mad.
it's like 2 a week, but then like if he's also
Special occasion.
but if
like
he's
that
got a
for-
special occasion or he's like
Yeah.
punditing on a game, he'll
So,
get another one.
like £600 a week on his
Fucking
league
hell, bro,
demand.
give it a rest.
That's mad, isn't it?
No one
I
gives a
hate getting my hair cut as well.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking nose.
Is
isn't
he
it?
fucking sucking his barber off or
Yeah,
something?
he'd be
Like, there's
sat
something
in-
going on
he's
there.
sat in that barber's chair for about 3 hours a week, mate. Fuck that.
Just chewing people's ear off.
Yeah, about
And
footy.
he's got nothing to say. Yeah. So the 2 front runners for this award, you can
Obvious.
chip in with any suggestions. Anthony, that is atrocious.
Terrible. Basically, the seminal theme here is if you've bleached your hair, you're a cunt.
Yeah, because the other nominee is Anthony Gordon, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon again bleached his hair.
He's also bleached his hair and he's a cunt. So,
So I mean, take your pick because they're both hats.
yeah, we need to talk about Anthony as well, don't we?
Yeah.
YouTube footballer.
YouTube, yeah, 80 million price tag,
Yeah.
not fulfilled in my opinion.
No, he scored a few bangers, and but it annoys me a little bit because he'll play really, really shit. Like he'll play like, you know, like the kid who used to like try all the tricks and never used to work.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like that, like back healing all the time.
This
and
is
then he'll score a banger.
this is the definition of a YouTube footballer though.
Yeah.
It's moments. There's no the top players are consistent across
yeah,
time.
That's true.
Like it's like Paul Pogba.
Yeah, he's fucking.
This
annoying,
is a
he
good
though.
gauge to know whether someone actually has any ball knowledge or not. Ask them their opinions on Paul Pogba. Because if they say that he's amazing, they know fuck all. Right.
Yeah,
So he's
'cause he's
amazing.
never done anything.
Yeah, because he's never done anything consistently. He's a moments player. Which automatically means he's not a top player.
No,
because
because
the-
like you say, you've got to be like a 7+ out of 10
Every
fucking
game.
Every game.
Do you think how consistently like Ronaldo and Messi performed for, 15 years?
Yeah, it's even like for Ronaldo, he does that, so he performs on a consistent basis. But then in like the big moments, like a Champions League final, he'll
right.
just fucking smash.
He
it.
raises the game even higher.
Which is that's the value.
Yeah.
That's where you earn your price tag, innit?
Yeah.
Whereas Anthony's just a bit fucking. Like
And again, he's got this mentality of throwing his toys out the pram. I
Yeah.
can't get on board with
Yeah,
it. Ten
definitely.
Hag's got to fucking nip that in
he's
the
got to
bud.
stamp that out, and
Yeah.
that's a big culture of his club at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not about that. And it clamp down on the trims as well.
I think that.
Would that still be
Surely.
going on if Roy Keane was captain?
No,
He
there
wouldn't
was a
take
rule,
that,
you
would
know.
he?
There was a rule in like Fergie's camp or something. Like you had to have short back and size, or whatever. And that was
True.
it.
Well, I mean, and then Beckham started getting some questionable trims, and he ended up at Real Madrid.
There you
So
go.
make
Fucked
of that
him
what
off.
you will.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I mean?
I think there's something to that. Keep it simple, lads. You don't have to get cornrows. Do the talking with your feet.
That's what you're alluding to, though, isn't it? Really, because it's like why have you got to do the talking with your hair?
Yeah.
You should be doing it on the pitch.
I think they just got too much money.
You just bring in.
Like,
yeah, they have basically.
they're just because if you or me want to change our actual hair style, it's not just like get a haircut. We're going to change the style of our hair.
Yeah.
We can't just go into a barber's and like crack it because you don't know what it's going to fucking look like. But then you go into like a designer, expensive barbers and they'll like model it for you and all that sort of shit. They must just go to them every time and then they end up with a different haircut every time. I think that's what it is because they've got loads of money. They just can afford to
paying
do
massively over the odds for it as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even care who wins that one.
No.
They can both share it.
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon's a hat. Well, we'll talk about him in the next one as well. So,
Okay.
he's a repeat offender, I'm afraid.
Well, that's what you get.
And also, if you feel like you've got any nominees for these awards, drop them in the comments. Because as I said, we're on, the 24th of June now? So the season's been over for 2 weeks. So I'm not going to lie, I've slept since then. I've forgotten most of what's happened.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, it's a good job we've done research because while I watched pretty much most of the games, I have forgotten most of them as well.
Exactly. So if you want to chip in with any suggestions, feel free and tag the actual player as well. Let's
throw some shade.
Let's make them aware of their shortcomings. Right.
Of their awards.
So all that gone. They're not going to want to know about this award. This is flop of the season. This is where it gets juicy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll run us through the nominees.
Okay.
Anthony Gordon, obviously.
Classic. Friend of the podcast.
Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Another friend of the show. Basically, single-handedly knocked United out of the Europa League. Jadon Sancho.
Okay.
How are you a Premier League winger, right, and you still can't beat a man?
Yeah.
4 seasons now he's
great.
done this as well.
And the expectation's been really high as well.
But for United fans, it's always, he's going to come good.
When?
But bro, he's not even young anymore.
When though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Show me.
David De Gea, another United player.
Yeah.
So, see, the thing is with David De Gea, he won the Golden Glove. Right. So statistically, he got the most clean sheets. But he can't play the type of football that Ten Hag wants him to. He can't use his feet.
But he's a fucking good.
He's a good shot stopper.
What he wants to be doing,
Yeah.
like you say, shot stopping. He's fucking really good at that.
He's just in the wrong team.
Yeah, true.
And
he can't play out from the back.
He gets paid 360 grand a week as well. So you'd think on that kind of money, you'd learn to use your feet. Do you know what I mean? Instead of digging your heels in like a hat.
Yeah, surely it can't be just an ignorance thing if he's.
No, he must really be inept with his feet.
He must really be shit. Yeah.
And Mark Cucurella, which we didn't touch on. He's the bloke that Chelsea signed in the summer from Brighton for 50 million, and he's just gone completely missing.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't seen him at all.
Yeah. So I think he may have got injured, but he's like a marquee signing last summer.
Yeah, that's mad. Fuck it. Well, I think my 2 cents.
Go on.
He's Harry Maguire.
It's got to be.
He's shit, man.
He is shit.
Towards the end of last year, he was getting a bit shit, right? And then Ten Hag came in and thought, right, well, you're shit, so I'm not playing you. And then when he's played him every now and then, he's doubled down on how shit he is.
Yeah. So obviously Leandro Martinez,
he's class.
Was class.
Yeah. Got
injured towards the tail end of the season, so they had to start playing Maguire a bit more, and it showed.
Yeah.
Because they started picking up losses, and as I said, he literally got them knocked out of the Europa League.
Yeah, it's just his sloppiness though. He's mega slow. He's he'll pass 60% effort or speed or whatever, that'll get intercepted. His skill on the ball is shit. He's just he's operating on 40% capacity by the looks of it.
The thing is, he could do a job at a different Prem team.
Yeah,
but he's just not cut out for United.
Bottom half though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's a bottom half centre back.
You've got to know your station.
Yeah. I don't know how he got in there in the first place, but he's fucking shocking, man.
80 million he cost from Leicester, didn't he?
You know what annoys me as well? He always gets in the England team.
He was playing the other day.
I know.
Did he play against Malta?
Yeah. Played both games. Started both games.
I don't get this about Southgate, right? I don't trust coaches that don't take club form into account.
They need to, because it's relevant.
It is relevant, but they think they're above it. It's
I know.
bollocks. Oh, well, he performs for me. Yeah, but
Performs for England.
he's consistently not performing for his club.
Yeah, in the last 4 months.
And that shows.
I don't get it. He does perform better for England, but you got to think about, right, in the Prem, he's against Haaland, right, and fucking like Saka.
Yeah.
But when he's playing for England, he's against the Maltese front three.
Yeah, so you're giving
I
him...
don't fucking know who they are.
You're giving him a run out against part-time fucking plumber.
Yeah.
And he's kept a clean sheet.
And,
That doesn't
you're
tell...
like, oh, yeah, sound.
that doesn't-
Pick you for the World Cup then.
That doesn't tell you a lot, does it?
Yeah.
But like you always say, success leaves clues.
Exactly, mate.
Right, so he's at a shit team and they've not got any success and you're playing him.
Yeah.
Over like John Stones, who's just won the treble.
I don't get it, mate. Ridiculous. The good thing about England, just to tangent a little bit, is we did have like 6 treble winners playing the other day.
That is
We had, like,
class. Mate,
Foden,
England,
Stones, mate.
good
Fucking
things are
unreal.
coming for England. Because if
Fucking
you look
colours,
at their... It's like their England under-21s are going to tear it up. Like the European under-21 championships is on at the moment. And I have a feeling we'll do pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all going to come good for England. Like our best players now aren't even like 24 in the senior team.
mad, mate. Like Jude Bellingham, mate, he's fucking a joke. Like,
Yeah.
he's fucking joke. He's going to Real, isn't he?
He signed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Took Zidane's number.
Shame, that is. It's a shame. I wanted to see him in the Prem.
Yeah, but so this is it.
He's going to
What's
still come,
happened?
you think, then?
What's happened is exactly what I said would
Yeah,
happen.
but you think he's going to still come to the Prem? He's not.
He
man.
is, bro.
He's going to see out his days in Spain like Gary Bale.
Gareth Bale hat and he's bald. He could have fucking Gopping of the season.
Yeah.
No, so he's signed like a 6-year deal or a 5-year deal. When he comes to the Premier, he'll still only be 25.
Yeah, that's true. That's mad.
That's
that is.
mental.
Yeah. It'll be fucking unreal. as
But
well.
either way, for England, it's mint, right? Because he's now like the fulcrum of Real Madrid's midfield. Right, so he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Assuming he can handle the pressure, he's going to play with the best players on the top stage in the world. So
It'll
that's
be
going
fucking unreal.
That's going to
It'll be.
transfer over to England, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. That'd be class. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he will come eventually to an English side. Hopefully Liverpool. Just because I think he'd fit there. He'd like take over the gap that Gerrard's.
Yeah, I know you're going to
Yeah,
drop
mate.
the Gerrard one. We love that.
exactly.
Get all the Liverpool fans' dicks off.
Um,
I saw some Liverpool fans throwing shade at him.
What?
For signing for Madrid, yeah, because you got
wait
it's
your turn,
it's
lads.
like, you don't know what you've passed up. You could have been a club legend.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, he's fucking Galactico.
Yeah,
give
you
it a
should-
rest.
Sure.
You
Do
fucking
mean
hat.
could have been a club legend. It'll be a club legend at Real Madrid and then at Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we are back. You missed a bit of us gobbing off about Jude Bellingham, but you didn't really miss anything of value, so that's
No.
fine.
So we'll cut that bit out.
We'll cut that bit out.
That's fine.
And it also meant that I could get Stella on board and have a piss. So,
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily all bad.
Productive.
So we need to cement our flop of the season, and then we can move on to Award 8.
Okay, so flop of the season. Player.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got Maguire,
Yeah.
Sancho, De Gea.
Yeah, Maguire.
Yeah.
I'm going Maguire.
He
Again,
needs to leave United
Terrible.
for the benefit of his own season.
for everyone's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, go to a bottom third team because you're just no good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he needs to be going to like West Ham, Wolves maybe.
He's been linked with Villa, but even they're above him
They
now.
are above him, 7th, mate.
Yeah.
Top half.
Nah. So sorry, Harry, but
Mind you, Tyrone Mings is shit as well. So
he is, and he could have been another nominee for shit lid of the season because
That's
those
true.
fucking. So he has like really short, like little dreads, doesn't he?
Yeah, those
But he
shit-
kind
shit
of looks like
dreads.
Incy Wincy Spider.
From an aerial view.
Yeah, because
I
he
reckon
can't.
does.
Like the way that he runs as well, it bounces
It
up
must
and
be
down.
so annoying. That.
That's what I mean. Just get like what you said, short back and sides.
Have you seen the James Corden sketch, Smithy?
Mm.
When he goes to talk to the England team?
Yeah, with the golden generation,
like-
he's like with Crouchy and Rooney and all that.
He's like to David James. He's like, that goes for all you. Fucking short back and sides.
Yeah.
We don't want to know.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, lads.
Right. So, flop of the season, Harry Maguire. Happy with that.
Absolutely. He can have the Jar Jar Binks as well.
Yeah. If Harry, if you drop your address in the YouTube comments,
Yeah.
we'll get that Jar Jar Binks over to you. You put that on your mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because you won't be getting anything else anytime.
yeah, he left empty-handed, didn't he, with the award season at United.
Yeah.
Right. Award 8, the Mystic Meg Award for Crimes Against Punditry.
Ooh. Okay.
This is a bit left field. I like this.
Yeah.
There's room for discussion here.
Yeah, there is. I quite like. I don't know whether it's an unpopular opinion, but I do quite like Gary Neville, and I do quite like Jamie Carragher.
No, so 100%, they would be my top pundits.
Right. Okay. Cool.
We need to throw shade at people that aren't at their level.
Yeah. So, who was it the other day that was commenting on fucking the England games?
Oh.
Andros Townsend.
Yeah,
He
Andros
was
Townsend.
fucking shit, mate.
Right, see, Andros Townsend fills the category of, you got to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Your England career was non-existent.
Yeah, and he's
So
now commenting on like Phil Foden.
All of these people
Are above you.
are above you,
Yeah.
and you're...
So one your neck.
Yeah, I literally just realised the irony there. I thought it was mid-sentence, I realised that we are throwing shade on him, and he was a professional footballer.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
We'll skip past that.
Yeah, we'll skip past that, so on to the next one. No, I'm joking. Right, Jermaine Genus,
I knew this was cool.
Jermaine fucking Penis, he gets where water can't, mate. He's on the fucking One Show, he's on fucking Match of the Day, he's on Football Focus, he's on BT, he's probably in bed with your missus. Fucking hell. Who's signing this bloke? He's got nothing
chat,
of any
mate.
interest to say.
He's got no chat. He's pretty shit. I think, is it Owen Hargreaves is pretty bad as well.
He's drab,
BT.
isn't he? Michael Owen.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think they use him more sparingly now, because they know how shit he is.
Yeah. He's not on everything. Owen Hargreaves seems to get on everything though. And bro, you spent half your career injured.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I don't know,
yeah.
I don't know where he's getting that gig.
Hargreaves played for City for a bit though, didn't he? I think. So
Yeah.
because there are so few decent City
English
legends.
City one,
yeah. So that's why Micah Richards gets on everything.
Yeah.
Because
He's
they're
funny
kind of
as well,
their
though.
talk of the town, but he's like their most notorious kind of ex-player in the pundit circle anyway.
But he's quite good as well. He's quite funny.
He's funny, to be fair, if you get him with the right people. Another nomination, Robbie Savage.
Oh, he's shocking. Yeah.
Mate, he was so fucking jarring in the Europa League conference final.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Mate, I was fuming, mate, because it was just like having a fan on the mic. He was just so biased towards West Ham. Like, we all wanted West Ham to win, but like...
Yeah, you've got to show a little bit of impartiality.
Yeah, you're there to inform us, from the player's perspective.
Yeah.
He was just fucking gobbing off.
I know, he was like a drunk fan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was looking ridiculous. Like, he'd had a few pints before
Like,
he
I
got
rate
in the commentary box.
I rate his enthusiasm.
Mind you, say that, it's a bit like when they get Neville on for... They get Neville and Carragher on for the Man U Liverpool match.
Yeah,
It's class,
true.
that is.
But that's funny though, right? Because firstly, I rate their chemistry more, and secondly, like they have better mannerisms. Like the Gary Neville ooh, ooh, that's classic. That is.
He's fucking class.
Whereas
Infamous.
Robbie Savage, he's just he can barely string a sentence together.
Yeah, he has to be. He says red flag when the co-commentator or the main commentator has to coax them along.
Yes.
When he has to I don't know, interject or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to bring you up to speed.
Like when you're trying to goad more words out of someone that doesn't want to be interviewed.
Yeah.
When you see that on the news sometimes, like when they're not very comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, and they're trying to sponge them out.
You're there to give us the player's perspective. That's the point of co-commentary.
Surely there's loads of players that want to do it as well. They can't be the best.
But this is what I mean. Theoretically, he is out of his depth because he didn't actually achieve anything as a player.
No.
So he's never played in the European final. So he can't actually give us experience.
He can't relate.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I think there are some good ones though. Obviously, Gary Lineker. He's fucking
Lineker's
fantastic.
class because he's not just a pundit, he's a broadcaster. So he orchestrates it all as well. So he hosts it and then he brings the pundits in as and when it's relevant.
Yeah, he's class.
So he's a level above.
He was a sick player.
He's the GOAT, effectively, Gary Lineker.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
he's
he's
top
the
of the
GOAT
pyramid,
because
isn't
he's a top bloke.
Yeah,
he was a fucking unreal player.
Yeah,
and he's a good pundit and broadcaster.
He's got the trifecta there, hasn't he?
Yeah,
yeah. So, and then you've got obviously Roy Keane doesn't get on everything, but he should do. Yeah, he's unreal.
Roy Keane's attitude alone makes him good.
Yeah,
so he could spout bollocks, but just because he's very dry and he's got a good sense of humour.
And he was a very specific type of player. There's not too many of them.
GBH was he?
Yeah. Like Patrick Vieira. Like them kind of fucking no nonsense centre mids.
Yeah, he's iconic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he has like walked the walk.
But he's got that's what I mean. So he's got loads of credibility. So whatever he says, everyone's like, oh fucking hell, well, Roy Keane's saying it.
Exactly. And then you've obviously got Neville and Carragher, like we said.
But they're just like a dynamic duo.
They're like Monday Night Football is like unparalleled,
yeah,
really,
it's
isn't
class,
it?
isn't it? They've probably driven the ratings up fucking tons, haven't they? Since
100%.
yeah.
Because like a lot of punditry can be a bit like watching paint dry sometimes.
Yeah.
But like with them two, you actually kind of invested in
Quite
it.
like Shearer as well. Shearer's decent.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of the BBC ones, I know I fucking don't like Jermaine Genius, but Shearer, Ian Wright.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Ian Wright sound.
But I think in terms of this award, who do we give it to? I think.
Well, I actually threw Martin Tyler in there as well.
Okay, interesting.
Because I know he's been a legend of the Premier League, and he got the iconic Aguero moment. You know when they won the first league, Aguero.
Yeah.
But like, so he's left Sky this season, but I think he was partially booted out because he lost his head.
He lost his edge.
He lost his edge for it because like I saw a few TikToks like people were parodying him because you know someone would score a big goal in a big game and he would go, and it's a goal for Arsenal.
Oh really?
Yeah. You can't be doing that. You've got to build it up, which is why they've replaced him with Peter Drury, who's another goat of the game.
Absolutely.
Mate, he's a poetic genius.
Yeah.
Have you heard like some of his...
If you don't know what Peter Drury's like, right, just type in on TikTok that name, Peter Drury. He's like there's some of the segments of his commentary are fucking unreal.
So picture the scene before a big Champions League game. Teams coming out the tunnel. And what leaves his mouth, I can only describe as poetry.
It's can't be like unplanned.
No, he is planned that, he's written it. But even so, to say it's scripted,
it's quality.
Like it's great at setting the scene.
Yeah, it is brilliant. And then like, but he does it off the cuff as well. So like when someone's stepping up to take a penalty, that can't be scripted.
Yeah, that's true.
But he smashes that. That's the same sort of poetry.
But they're the kind of people you want on commentary.
John Motson.
Yeah, R.I.P. John Motson.
Unreal, mate.
I can't believe he's died.
He was the goat. Amazing.
Match of the day legend.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we'll give it to Robbie Savage.
He needs to get him off the telly. Can we get a petition going to get Robbie Savage off the telly?
Crowdfunded.
Yeah, crowdfunded. We'll pay his wage to just not turn up to work effectively.
He'd love that.
Just stay at home,
Robbie. He did that when he's playing.
Concentrate on cleaning your kitchen.
Yeah. You got another beer?
Yeah, we're on cans now though.
Oh, okay.
For anyone watching, you will notice that I've migrated to Stella Can, which I'm not happy about. I prefer a bottle of Bud, but you're on Foster's, which is rough.
Yeah, I feel like you can only drink Foster's if you're on Australian beach, and I'm not.
And we're not on a beach, and we're not in Australia, so that's a double L. Right, okay. This is where it gets spicy, and for legal reasons, what we're about to discuss may or may not have happened. Right. So the next award is the Adam Johnson Sus Behaviour of the Year award. This is an award which highlights sus behaviour off the pitch.
Yeah. This is primarily off the pitch behaviour.
So the two the two nominees are Anthony, our friend, because he's been accused by his ex-girlfriend of domestic abuse and death threats.
Nice.
She's like
Sounds like a nice bloke, doesn't
she's like a Brazilian influencer, and she did like a big kind of like TV interview and came clean about like how he's a domestic abuser and stuff. So right, so he's a hat, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, obviously, so I think this was the season before, wasn't it? But you've also got Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Again, sounds like a nice bloke.
He's also been released, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah. So was it settled out of court, or did it all just go a bit hush hush?
I think the charges got dropped.
Right.
So what you can only assume is that she got paid off to drop the charges. Right.
So he didn't officially settle out of court, but
no.
You can infer from that.
And the recordings and the stuff that came to light, that's genuinely hard evidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only way that he wouldn't be convicted is if she didn't press charges anymore.
Well, that is damning evidence in the same way that body cam footage of Marine is damning evidence.
Yeah, linking back to our last episode.
Yeah, it's just that Mason Greenwood's got a lot more cash.
Yeah, very true. And he didn't kill anyone necessarily.
But Anthony, again, he's not done himself any favours there from a PR perspective, has he?
No.
Because on the pitch,
because he's already a wanker.
Because he's a wanker on the pitch,
yeah,
and now he's a beater off the pitch.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and you can't get behind that.
You can't win, can you? Then?
No.
Yeah. So he's got a very very niche level of supporters.
And domestic
People
abuse.
who don't watch football and are fans of domestic abuse.
Yeah, and on the prison hierarchy as well, domestic abuse are up there with nonces.
You can only
So
hope.
like, he's plankton, isn't he? Really, he
Yeah.
wouldn't last a minute. Imagine him in prison.
Oh, it wouldn't last a minute anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless.
He's a hat.
Everybody's
So
done.
so he's a forerunner definitely for this award. Another outlier, not been mentioned yet on this podcast, had a good season on the pitch, less so off the pitch.
Right.
Kieran Trippier.
Okay.
So I don't know if I told you
know
about
this,
this,
no.
right? So he got done knobbing a bird while
Oh, you did tell me
while
about
his missus and his kids were in Marbella or something at the end of the season.
Yeah. He got like, end of the season party or something. Got it carried away.
Had a bird back to the family home
Right.
and knobbed, and then obviously in the morning she's put it all over a Snapchat, like in bed with Kieran Trippier or whatever.
Imagine that, man.
Right, the fucking photos of the nippers on the side.
Ah, lad.
That's gopping in it.
Can you imagine being Kieran Trippier in that moment though? Like she's whipped her phone out.
The regret you'd get. No, I
Yeah.
think he was asleep, so it's even worse.
Oh.
So he's just woken up to a world of hurt.
That's terrible.
I've got no
Obviously-
sympathy for him, but
No,
like that
but
is
obviously
fucking.
he's just had that post-nut clarity as well. So it all felt like a great idea.
Yeah.
Until now he's asleep. He's probably regretting it already. Right, he's regretting it already. And then he wakes up next to this fucking bird he doesn't know, and all of a sudden his phone's going 10 to the dozen.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's fine. I'll just go to sleep. You know, when you're pissed, you're like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
yeah,
sound
yeah,
in the morning,
yeah.
and it's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but also, he's like worst case scenario. You're like, he's probably played it out in his head. He's probably like, right, best case scenario, I bag this chick off, and no one knows. Right.
yeah,
Medium case scenario, right? I bag this chick off, and like she tells her mates, whatever.
Yeah.
And then worst case scenario, she tells the whole world.
yeah. She puts it on the internet,
And she's done that.
and she's also a morning four. And he's scrammed a box.
That's kind of
And he knows that.
And hopefully she's told everyone that as well.
That's shocking. That is, bro. What are you doing? Like, it's the end of the season. You just qualified for the Champions League.
Yeah.
You've had individually. You've had a good season. Why have you
tarnished it?
Why
there.
have you tarnished yourself?
Just fly out to
with,
Marbella, bro.
with the adultery brush?
Yeah, if you're horny, get yourself out there.
Yeah. Honestly,
You got the money, get a fucking flight to Marbella, knob your missus.
this is the other thing that I don't get right. He's got money coming out of his arse,
Yeah.
and he's just like, so you've got the money to. I'm not advocating this kind of behaviour, but you have got the money to facilitate that kind of lifestyle. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
As in, like, if you want, you've got enough money to basically do it discreetly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You approach the right people in the
Yeah.
right situation. But
Well,
he's
yeah, I
just
guess so.
he's just bagged a bird he's met in a club basically after their award ceremony.
That's mad,
somewhere.
isn't it? You know, the fact that still happens. With,
And it, yeah,
that's mad as well. Imagine the other way around. Like one of the female footballers goes out for their end of season award. She's not taking.
mate,
home.
some of the lionesses happily, like, I'll give
Yeah.
him my address. Like, if any of you are watching,
She's not taking home like a four bloke, is she? And
No.
knobbing him instead of a fella. That's just not happening. But like the other way around, it happens. It's mad, isn't it?
like, I haven't seen this bird, but like, yeah, he's fucking.
Yeah, fucking hell.
That's
She's actually pretty good.
I don't. But then again, like Anthony and Mason Greenwood,
Oh, they're both taking the biscuit over.
they're on a different level. But
Yeah, this is different stuff we thought we were talking about, but we had to bring it up. But I think Mason Greenwood, this is a different season, it's last season, but it's kind
Yeah.
of carried over into this season.
it has carried over. But so maybe we give it to Anthony then, because this is fresh off the press. This is.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I think honourable mention for Greenwood because he's a hat.
Yeah,
You know.
basically. And what we need to stress here is that they're all cunts, effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them's won, but they're all losers.
Exactly. Yeah, they've all had their world come crashing down.
Yeah. And rightfully so, because their behaviour's been shocking. Right, so last but not least, this is the fun award now. This is what I've been looking forward to, right? This is Best Crack on a Night Out award.
Yeah, this is the last award, as you can imagine.
And if you know anything about football, you know who's going to win it.
Yeah.
But we'll still
My
mull.
sister even knew who was going to win this.
Yeah,
Right?
so we'll mull it over.
Yeah. Have you got some nominees? Or is it
Yeah,
just
so
one
I've got three.
seminal
I've got
nominee?
three nominees. So we've got David Moyes,
Okay.
who a few weeks ago wouldn't have been on anyone's list.
Yeah.
But judging by his celebrations after their Europa Conference League win, he's right up there. He was loving it, mate.
He was on Diary CEO and he used to say on the Saturday or Sunday whenever they played and they won, he said it'd be a fucking class.
Because he is an old school manager. He's been
Yeah.
around for ages,
Oh,
so
he
he's
probably
still
gets
got
on
that
it.
drinking culture
Old
ingrained
school
in him.
values, mate.
Yeah,
Like it, yeah.
So like, on the press conference post their win, he was on the beers in the conference.
Love it.
Love that.
Yeah.
And like Jared Bowen had finished his bit or whatever. He's like, "Oh, I'll see you in the pub in a bit, Jared." Like, yeah. So he's had a heavy night, and he's Scottish.
Yeah,
which
so
that speaks
he's probably on the
volumes.
bookie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Literally every person I know from Scotland is a piss can. And that's not a stereotype.
yeah, some of them are descendants of Scots, and they're still piss.
And, yeah, shout out to our Craig.
Yeah.
So yeah, David Moyes, and the fact that he's actually finally won something as a manager as well. Like, you deserve to celebrate that.
But also, he as a manager deserves that as well.
Yeah.
Because he spent so much time at Everton building them up. They're fucked now.
He went to United. It didn't work out for him.
I know, but I think he went there at the wrong time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They were
100%.
expecting like a quick turnaround from Alex Ferguson, who just wasn't going to happen, was it?
Well, like, Fergie didn't take off straight away.
No,
he was shit for the first few seasons.
So was Pep.
Yeah, literally.
Oh,
It's this short-term mentality in football.
This is why going back to Chelsea, that'll never work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking shit. But yeah, so
yeah, he deserves that. Kyle Walker, I imagine he's good on a night out.
Yeah, I do think that, yeah.
Yorkshireman.
But mind you, he was holding.
But
Yeah.
True. He was the responsible one
So,
in the Grealish Walker dynamic, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
so
Which is a red flag.
Bode well, does it?
No.
Want irresponsible for this award.
Yeah, and then
Well,
obviously,
not that irresponsible. We're going Kieran Trippier away.
Yeah.
Well, just in the middle.
well,
in the middle
I don't know,
of that.
because our front runner has had some awkward encounters with certain individuals.
Yeah.
So
Jacob Brown.
Yeah. So if you haven't guessed already,
Yeah.
He's the winner, isn't he? Effectively,
Yeah.
We've got to call a spade a
Let's not
spade.
beat around the bush.
Yeah, it's Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish is
Absolute-
100%.
Absolute hero.
If you're listening, Jack, book onto the podcast. We'll go out later.
Yeah, we will come to you.
Yeah.
Please let us interview you, and we'll just talk
Can you
about.
imagine getting
We'll
Jack
just
Grealish?
we'll ignore your football career. We'll just talk about getting on the sesh.
Yeah, and then we'll get on the session. I mean, just his 4 days post winning the treble.
Matt, he was in a dark place,
Unreal.
and I respect it.
Yeah.
Because he's dug out all season on the pitch,
Yeah.
and then to celebrate, he's dug out off the pitch as well
He'd sleep for
for 3 days.
You wouldn't, would you?
No, but he did look very sleep deprived at their open top parade in Manchester. You know, remember that turkey thing that I sent you?
Yeah, but
Whereas
imagine the feeling of that,
Oh yeah, I don't blame him.
Like-
It's class. People vilifying him on Twitter.
Fuck
all
off,
these
innit?
Karens.
All
If
these
you're
old-
a Karen out there, you're a cunt. I'll still scrun your box.
all of these fucking old cunts on ITV or whatever, in daytime television, getting him up when he's popping the champagne off. And oh, he's such a terrible role model. He had the opportunity to be a really nice role model. Mate, fuck off.
Fuck
innit?
off.
He's celebrating an unreal achievement.
Yeah.
That's to be celebrated.
He's
That's class.
the poster boy of English football.
Yeah.
Right.
If you do something that's class, you've got to be able to celebrate it.
That's what I mean. So
That's the natural progression.
He's a genuine bloke in a time for football when everything's fake and fabricated. And he's authentic, and people are digging out at him for
because they're
wearing his heart
wanting
on
to be fake.
wearing his
they're
heart
wanting
on
to
his
be
sleeve.
someone who because what happened essentially, if Jack Grealish had won that and had gone, maybe he'd gone and got on the pitch, but he'd hidden it,
Yeah.
and then he'd come out and said, "Oh no, I did this and this instead with my missus and my kids, whatever." He'd have been being fake. He'd have been lying. So they want him to fucking
Yeah, that's
be someone he's
That's
not.
not what football's about.
Yeah.
It's about raw emotions. It's about celebrations.
Of course it is.
It's about the pain. It's
Yeah.
about the wins.
The heartache.
Exactly.
It's like
It's
Peter
so...
Drury now.
That's a taste of what Peter Drury's about.
Yeah, get him on TikTok.
No, but genuinely, I love the fact that they were interviewing him after the game, couldn't string a sentence together, he was swearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
All the TikToks that emerged of the next few days of him getting off the plane first thing in the morning,
fucking
absolutely
waves. Yeah,
steamed.
yeah. It's brilliant.
Leaving the stadium, blasting Fleetwood Mac with a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is just that's quality, and you had to show up for England 3 days later, which is
class.
brilliant.
Do you know what the last thing you want
It's like
then?
the boot mentality.
Yeah, and the
Again.
fact actually they went to Ibiza for 12 hours.
Oh, that's
So
sick,
on the
yeah.
way back from Istanbul, they went to Ibiza and then straight to Manchester to do the
That's
open
amazing.
top bus tour.
Imagine that sending Ibiza.
A 12-hour Ibiza send.
I've got
Imagine the
private jet with the boys.
Imagine the debauchery. See, Kieran Trippier, take note. That's how you cheat on your missus.
Because Jack Grealish definitely did.
12-hour Ibiza send, right? Under the mask of darkness.
Covert.
Covert, yeah,
Yeah.
spec ops.
Yeah, but Jack Grealish probably executed that a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
He's had practice on it.
Yeah, well, remember that. So when he was at Villa, like, there's a track record. I mean, Jack Grealish has got a track record of just fucking being loose, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, it didn't wash so well when he was at Villa, but now he's actually, like, performing at the top level. It's class.
Also as well, like, yes, his team have won a treble, but this year he's actually been instrumental in it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's actually been... Like, it's not like he's gone and sent it for 3 days after just being a bench, like, a squad player for the full season. He's actually been proper instrumental in that entire process. So, of course, he's going to celebrate.
But he's the first to admit that last season he went missing a bit.
Yeah, he's
kicked
on, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It's class.
Love it, mate.
Yeah.
So
Jack
lots
Grealish,
of time for Jack Grealish. Love it.
100%. And again,
he's a local lad.
So. Local lad and another one of England's bright prospects.
Exactly.
How old is he? Like 25,
The
26?
only thing I don't like about it is the fact that him and Phil Foden play in the same position. Because I love watching Phil Foden play, but I can't deny that Jack Grealish is on mega form.
It pains me that one of them's always going to be on the bench.
Shit, innit?
Because they should both be on the pitch.
They've got to be. They've got to find a way, like, to make...
That's bullshit. Because
Phil Foden, I feel like, can play from most places. I feel like Jack Grealish has to be on the left.
Yeah.
But Phil Foden can...
You could play him as a 10.
You could play him as a 10, you could play him...
Yeah.
I think you play him anyway.
But he is a generational talent. He has to play.
Every time he gets subbed on by Pep, Eddie goes, generational talent.
He's like... Phil Foden has the technical ability of, like, European players that you see.
No,
but he's English.
So Pep said... This is Pep, mate. He said... When he saw Foden play for the first time, the only person he's seen with better talent was Messi.
That's class.
Right, which is mental.
Yeah. And he's not... and
he's younger.
He spent the second half of the season as a sub.
That's just fucking ridiculous. And he's a sub now for England.
But the thing is, he'll never leave City because he's like born and bred, isn't he? He's a citizen. So
I like that, mate.
I'll tell you who does need to leave City though. We'll end on this. Calvin Phillips. Oh, he's done fuck all. Like, genuinely. So he is the fraud of the season, really, isn't he? Because he's won the treble, having contributed. And I rate him, to be fair. He always turns up in an England shirt.
Yeah,
but he needs to leave to get game time.
Yeah, this is true. He does need to play because he came back from was it Euros? Fat.
Yeah, and Pep was like, "You're fat. You're not playing."
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
big fan of that. What he could have done, Pep. He's taken on the viewpoint of a lot of gentrified companies that do, and he could have gone, right, we're going to put him in centre mid to make our body positivity message.
Yeah, yeah.
But he didn't do that because he's a winner.
Yeah, and sport is the ultimate meritocracy.
Exactly.
So it's bullshit. You don't get that kind of wishy-washy shit in sport.
And I rate that about Pep.
Yeah, same.
He said, "You're fat. You're not playing."
And you're a helmet.
Yeah. And he was mega fat, if you saw the photo. But he's reined it in a little bit. But he's still... Like, he was really good for Leeds, wasn't he? I think he just stepped above his station by going straight to City. Should have gone to, like, maybe Spurs or...
Yeah.
You know, one of them kind of middle teams.
Because he's gone from the bottom to the top there, straight away, hasn't he?
Yeah, Leeds... Are Leeds even in the fucking... No, Leeds just got relegated.
Yeah, I'm glad that Leeds got relegated because they're shit.
They are a bit shit, aren't they? Right, minus 30 goal difference. That's just shit, isn't it? Like, you imagine that?
That's laughable. I reckon me and you as a centre-back partnership could, like, equal that. Maybe do a bit better.
And I was never a fucking centre-back. I was a winger.
Yeah, and we're about 6 foot combined, so...
Yeah, we'll stand on each other's shoulders. Get in the box.
And on that note, we've ran through all of our awards. Have you got anything to add to wrap it up?
No, I mean, just to emphasise a few points. I mean, Arsenal's bottle job. That's one to emphasise. I think Mason Greenwood didn't quite get the award because it wasn't this season, but he is a hat.
But we do need to emphasise that he's still a cunt. Yeah. Just because it didn't happen in this season doesn't mean he's exempt from being a knobber.
We didn't have a podcast last season. Last season we would have called him out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he did his transgressions last season. Anyway,
Erling Haaland,
ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, he's just like overpowered at this point, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like double XP weekend.
Yeah, he actually is.
You know what I mean?
Right, the camera wrapped its tits in again, just as we were wrapping up. Yeah. But I think Erling Haaland, the GOAT, Arsenal bottle jobs, Mason Greenwood hat. I think.
Yeah, that's
covered all bases there.
That's right. Covered that twice.
If you want more football content, then stay tuned because we've just had the bright idea of doing kind of a pre-season prediction episode.
Yeah. So we're going to do predictions of next season. Obviously, all the same, not the same awards, but all the proper awards that you can get. It's like winning the league, Champions League, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll do that just before the season starts. So, if you're interested in that, drop a subscribe and make sure all the notifications are on, because then you'll get notified when episodes go live.
Yeah. But other than that, I think that's us done.
It is. Yes.
We're now going to send it for the afternoon and edit this incredibly hungover tomorrow morning.
Which is going to be amazing. It's going to go out on Monday. So as you see this, just know that we've edited this in a hole.
Yeah.
So
we're digging out for you again.
Yeah, appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.